What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you are having a wonderful day. Today we are going to be reviewing my street-only Sur-Ron. I've rode about 2,500 miles and it's all been street. I haven't rode dirt really at all on my Sur-Ron, maybe like a couple miles just for fun. I don't really ride dirt on the Sur-Ron just because the street tires don't perform that well in like grass or dirt or anything like that. I've been wanting to make this video for a while because I just want to talk about why the Sur-Ron is such an awesome street vehicle, because I just don't see a lot of people only using their Sur-Ron on the streets. You know, most people on YouTube are riding their Sur-Rons on trails. So as far as I know, I'm the only person that has been riding only street on the Sur-Ron. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is probably my favorite thing about having a street-only Sur-Ron, and that is that I don't have to register or insure the Sur-Ron. Not having to register or insure the Sur-Ron saves me so much money because, you know, insurance would probably be $60–$80 on a regular bike, and then you have to register it, which probably like a few $100s every year. I'm not entirely sure. So I'd probably save, you know, $500 to $1,000 every year by not having to license or insure the bike, which is awesome. And that's really my favorite part about the Sur-Ron, is I don't have to do any of those things. I just turn it on, I get out here and ride, and I also get a ride on the sidewalks and stuff. I don't have to worry about anything because it is technically a bike. We gotta pull up here to the USPS real quick. I gotta drop off Nick Ferreira's order. Congratulations, Nick, for winning the brake pads. Stay tuned for more giveaways coming soon. Alright, so we just dropped off those brake pads to Nick. I hope you enjoy those, Nick. Thank you for entering the giveaway. Everyone else, stay tuned for more giveaways. We are gonna be doing more in the future. But let's get back to the Sur-Ron. My other favorite thing about my street-only Sur-Ron is that I don't have to pay for gas. And yeah, I probably haven't saved that much money not paying for gas, but it is very convenient that all I have to do is charge my battery. Sometimes I don't enjoy the range on the Sur-Ron, and as I've rode the Sur-Ron more and more, I'm starting to realize that the range on the battery is kind of getting less and less. I don't know if it's just because of how I've been riding as of lately, or maybe it's because I let my battery sit for 6 whole months, but I really haven't been enjoying the range on the Sur-Ron as much as when I first bought it. And maybe we just need to do another range test to see how much range we've actually lost since we first bought the bike and, you know, had to let it sit over winter. I'm sure we lost a little bit of range, but from how I've been riding lately, it seems like we lost a lot of range, so stay tuned for another test like that. I've ridden the Sur-Ron almost 2,500 miles. If you assume a tank of gas you fill up every 300–350 miles, I've probably saved, you know, $400 or $500 on gas throughout my time owning the Sur-Ron. Maybe a little less, probably like $300 or $400, but overall, not having to license the bike, insure it, or pay for gas, I probably saved around $1,000. And if you guys recall the video I made, how I saved $1,000 on my Sur-Ron, I did talk about how I was gonna save $1,000 on my Sur-Ron, and it actually happened, so that's pretty cool. I feel like this bike's gonna last around 10,000 miles, so we might end up saving a lot more than I ever thought. And I will say the other thing I love about my street-only Sur-Ron is that I haven't really had to do maintenance. For the most part, all I've changed is brake pads. Maybe I've oiled my chain a couple times, washed the bike a couple times, but for the most part, there is no maintenance on the Sur-Ron. I should probably change my rotors. I don't think I have to get new tires anytime soon. I mean, the tires look fine. I've rode at least 1,500 miles on them, so I'm not completely positive if I'm gonna have to do any maintenance anytime soon. For the almost 2,500 miles I've rode, I've had to do no maintenance, so there's really no money being put into the Sur-Ron at all unless you upgrade it, or, you know, you're riding super hard and you're breaking things all the time. Like, obviously I should have replaced my front fender and my back fender, because those are the only things that have broke on the Sur-Ron from crashing, because they're just cheap plastic pieces, but I haven't even done that, and I don't even really think I need to. The only thing you really need fenders for is so you don't get water or mud all over yourself when you're riding. And if you're using a street-only Sur-Ron, you don't really have to worry about that. The only thing you're really gonna flip up is rocks, and I've never hit myself with rocks. It's always cars that hit me with rocks. So yeah, there's really not that many downsides to having a street-only Sur-Ron. I feel like when you're only riding street on the Sur-Ron, you do have the potential to have the bike last longer than if you were riding dirt trails and hitting jumps and all that stuff, just because there's really not too many things that can happen when you're riding on the street. Like, yeah, you could hit potholes or whatever, but I don't think really a pothole or a dip like what we're about to run into compares to, you know, jumping the Sur-Ron. It's pretty cool that the Sur is so durable as a track bike, and then you bring it to the streets and you really don't have to worry about a thing. But of course, we can't have this video without having downsides to the street-only Sur, and this one should already be predictable. I talk about it all the time, and that is the seat. I hate the seat on the Sur, man. It is terrible. I don't get how people think the Luna float seat is like comfortable. Why is this person, what are you doing, bro? Like, I'm not a bicycle. I hate the seats on the Sur, man. If anyone has a suggestion for a better seat upgrade than the Luna float seat, I would really appreciate that. I've seen bigger seats and they look pretty comfortable, but the seats I've seen are like $100–200, so it's like, I don't know if spending $100–200 on a seat is gonna be worth it when the, you know, Luna float seat, so I've heard, is the most comfortable seat you can buy, and I still do not like it. They just need better seat options on the Sur. What they have right now, it just doesn't work for me. I don't like it at all. And I guess the other thing I'll say is I don't really like the brakes on the Sur. I've talked about this before, but even when I first bought the Sur, I've always had the issue with my brake pads rubbing on the rotors. I don't know where I'm going, I'm just riding. We're riding the streets while we do a review of my street-only Sur. What do you think? But yeah, I really just don't like the brakes at all. And I don't know if I just need to bleed my brakes or what the deal is, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna fix that issue unless I just upgrade the calipers. But the reason why I don't want to upgrade the calipers is because the brake pads that you can get with the stock Sur are extremely cheap, which makes the maintenance cheap, and I really enjoy that. So I don't really plan on changing the pads or the caliper anytime soon, but it definitely would make the bike better. I think this is a dead end, so I don't know why I'm going this way. So yeah, the brakes aren't even really that big of an issue. I'll take the issues with the brakes as long as I don't have to spend a lot on brake pads. It's not really the biggest deal, but it would be nice if it came with nicer calipers or whatever the issue is with the brake pads. And I guess everyone's argument would be, well, why don't you upgrade the bike? You've had it for over a year now, you put almost 2,500 miles on it. Why have you not upgraded anything on the bike as far as performance? And that's just because I want to see how long the Sur lasts. I don't know anyone who just has a stock Sur. Everyone who gets the Sur upgrades something on it. And you know, I've upgraded a little bit here and there. I've got the upgraded pegs, you know, I got the peg spacer, seat, upgraded handlebars. You know, I got a few things upgraded, but nothing performance-wise. All the things I upgraded because I either needed to or I thought it would make the bike more comfortable. Performance and stuff like that, I don't have any desire to do that, but it's also because I want to... Whoa, this is a cool spot. I kind of got distracted there, but my objective for the Sur, especially when making these YouTube videos, is I really just want to see how well and how long the Sur, I don't really know how to word it, but I just want to see how long the Sur can last without me having to upgrade anything. Like, if I don't have to upgrade anything for 10,000 miles, the Sur is 100% worth the price. But let's say I have to start changing stuff at 4,000 or 5,000 miles, you know, it's going to be a little bit more debatable if the Sur's worth it. You know, if I have to change the motor out at 5,000 miles, granted a motor's only $500, $600, that's just not that long to last, in my opinion. If you look at the value of it, you're paying almost 10% of your mileage, assuming you could earn $1 a mile on the Sur. That's kind of what I'm assuming here. You're using like 10% of your mileage just to fix the motor and get the bike going again. And then, you know, I'm gonna have to change the tires eventually. I'm gonna have to change the rotors eventually. There's a lot of upgrades eventually I'm gonna have to do no matter what. So I really want to see, you know, is the Sur worth owning? Because if it's not worth owning, then there's people down there. I would go down there, but I'm not going to disturb them. This is a cool spot though. I've never been here. We've been finding a lot of cool trails lately. I guess that's one downside of the street-only Sur is I can't really rip these trails that well. Like, I could rip it, but the street tires on the Sur, they're so slippery in the grass and on trails, it's just not worth even trying. You know, your likelihood of slipping out and falling is pretty high. I think this just takes you to the park up here. I think it's cool they made these trails. And yeah, I think having a street-only Sur-Ron kind of, it doesn't really negate your exploration, but it does limit it to some extent. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can rip this thing as hard as you want, but I kind of want to keep my street tires in decent condition. I've already ripped them a lot, so I've definitely put in some work on these street tires, but I'm trying to make them last as long as possible. You know, it's kind of the same scenario with not upgrading the bike. I just want to see how long the parts last and give you guys reviews along the way. I think that's going to be super beneficial to anyone who's trying to buy a Sur-Ron and, you know, they want to know the longevity of it. Like, it's fun to come out here and rip the Sur-Ron, don't get me wrong, and I would love to upgrade, but to be able to provide you guys some super valuable information, I would rather do that for all of you guys than me upgrade the bike just because I want to. I just think it'll be more beneficial to everyone if I just stay on the mission that I've been set out for. I think if I deviate from the mission, it's just, I'm not going to be able to give you guys as valuable of information. You know, I could definitely make more interesting videos because the upgraded Sur-Rons get a lot more views than any other videos, but that's not my goal. You know, I can upgrade the Sur-Ron at any time. It's kind of raining. It's pretty nice. I'm enjoying this right now. And we've talked a lot about, you know, the things I love and hate about the Sur-Ron. I do that a lot anyway. I want to talk about actually riding the Sur-Ron on the street. I think it handles amazing, you know, the turns are amazing, has good grip on the road. The one thing I don't like is it's pretty light and it feels like you could slip out easily, but I've never had that issue of, you know, the Sur-Ron is performed extremely well, and the only time I've ever slipped out on it was in the grass with the street tires, and the grass was super wet, so that's more of my error than the actual bike. Yeah, I've never had any issues as far as just riding the Sur-Ron around. There is one thing I don't like is when you're in traffic. You know, this bike's not that fast. I guess that's wrong to say because the bike is decently fast, keeps up with traffic, but there are times I wish I could go 10 miles per hour faster because it would be nice to be able to pass cars easier. And then there's also times I wish the bike was louder because sometimes I feel like I am invisible to people and having some noise would be helpful. But other than those two things, like, the Sur-Ron's the best street vehicle, man. I don't even know why you would get a normal motorcycle besides if you wanted the speed or whatever and overall experience of having a gas motorcycle. But if you just want something nice to commute with, pretty cheap, and it might last you a long time, you know. I still feel like this Sur-Ron has a lot of life on it. It's gonna take some time to get those miles on there, so we'll just have to see. It's pretty early to say, but I'm super excited for the future, and I love making these videos for you guys. I don't know if you guys enjoy them that much, but I really like providing the information about the Sur-Ron. And even some of the riding videos are pretty fun. Like, we did a riding video not too long ago with my friend on his Honda CBR, and that was super fun. So hopefully we can get some more collaborations and ride with some more people. If I can just continue to provide you guys valuable information on the Sur-Ron and make entertaining videos for you guys, I'll be really stoked on that. And yeah, if I left out anything about the Sur-Ron, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to put it in the next review. If I remember right, someone wanted to know how much the Sur-Ron costs, and I have a video called "Should You Buy a New or Used Sur-Ron?" something like that, and that has pretty much all the info you'll want to know about actually buying the Sur-Ron. So definitely go check out that video. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully here soon we'll be hitting some dirt trails, but I am still ripping the streets out here and having a blast doing it. So much love to everyone who supports the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.